Where did you get that new ones?
The farmer, the local farmer, one of them is a triplet and the mother didn't have enough milk for them all. And the other one is really big. It was born today, but it's really big. That one has been fed recently. I'm going to try this one first. And I've got to use this one.
So he's eating?
Yeah, he's eating really well. I can't believe how well. Usually it takes them ages to... Yeah, it's worked really quick.
I really don't know where I am. I mean, what is Cerenety?
Okay, well, I guess it's a eco campsite and small holding, kind of a rescue animal centre on the north coast of Cornwall. And we rescue animals and they act as an attraction for the campsite. So we use the money from the campsite to look after the rescue animals. And it funds a way of life more than a big profit.
Well, it started because I was living in the bungalow. It just had a garden then, and my daughter always played in the fields when she was growing up. And when my parents became elderly, I looked after them. They came and moved in with me and I looked after them. And we were a very close family. I had lovely parents, but of course they died. So I thought, okay, I brought Kelly up. I'd looked after my parents when Kelly left school and university, looked after my parents. Now it was time to do what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And it was always farming. So I got the land, which I was very lucky to get. The farmer was a friend and he let me have it. And we thought we'd call it Cerenety, spelt with a C, not an S, because my father's name was Cecil and my mother's name was Irene, so it was a serene, Cerenety out of the two names. My interests had become very involved in the environment. Mostly I wanted to make things like my own solar panels, my own compost toilets, I just wanted to experiment. But when I started doing this, we asked for some information from somewhere and the TV people decided they wanted to do a small program on us. Unfortunately for them, they wanted us to prove that we were sustainable. And we were new to it. So to help us, they helped install the solar panels up on the toilets and a wind tower. But it was too complicated for me. I was more into making my own stuff. So the answer was to have campers have a little campsite, an eco campsite, with the compost toilets, the solar showers, and invite people to come and see and use it as a demonstration. That's why we did the pond. The pond is a demonstration on how to filter water before it goes to the rivers. The compost toilets was a demonstration on how simple it could be to be good for the environment. Everything is done simply.
What are you doing here?
I think it's going to have like a bench down the middle, maybe, and then or like tables and chairs.
Just for
make it nicer inside, just for kind of maybe like people coming to campers come and like chill and have drinks or eat their food if it's a bit windy and cold, or you know. Like,
at the very least, it'll be a feature.
A feature and a shelter, and like this is all going to be wood, and this will have like a fold down table, so like you'll be able to.
Maybe a sofa here.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, maybe a sofa, and this door will. And this will be able to open for more light as well. So just kind of.
Yeah, chill out.
We might bring that up as well. So there's like a decking bit, you know. Just a sort of an area to chill out in.
Chill out, yeah. Good.
The camping proves to me that people are moving ahead with the environment and being environmentally conscious. In the beginning, they complained if the water wasn't hot. They didn't, but now they adjust to using the hot water when it's sunny and now people are accepting that you don't need water to flush a toilet. It's still hygienic if you use sawdust or hay or whatever you want to use. So people are starting to accept it. And we have a lot of good campers.
We have more people that are interested in the eco side of it. They want to learn more about solar panel showers and maybe take something home with them that they can do at home, maybe an outside compost toilet. And they also want to experience a campsite where there's not a bar and a cafe and concrete and that kind of thing. They just want fields for the kids to play in and something a bit different and a bit more interesting.
Most of the money that we make, we like running as a charity. So all the money we make, we live on as little as possible, and the rest goes to look after the animals, which will turn out to be rescue animals. We never planned it, it just happened. And the lambs was my project. I wanted to have do research on why lambs are dying. You've noticed that here, for no reason, they die.
Yeah.
The only way is to have a laboratory where we can do autopsies on them, but we need a grant for that. I can't afford to do that. It's very annoying when you look on the internet or on TV and you hear about millions of grants coming from Euro and lottery and blah blah blah, and I can't get it.
Yeah.
You need to have a degree and a full-time job studying how to get a grant, and I just can't do it. If you know it's for a good cause and you're going to help something, but if I can't go any further with my research, what is the point? Kelly wasn't here in the beginning. She was at university, but when Kelly saw that I was going broke because I couldn't make ends meet financially, she came for a year to help me.
No, I stayed in London for a year after I finished university, over a year, and worked in an office for a pharmaceutical consultancy company where I sat in front of a spreadsheet from 9 till 5 every day. I spoke to some of the other people in the office and they said they were only going to do it for a year, but now they were 45 or 50 and they'd never changed jobs, and I panicked and decided to leave London and come back down here to be near the sea and just to kind of reevaluate what I was doing with my life. And whilst I was down here, I realised that the campsite that my mum had set up already could do with a bit more advertising and a bit more structure. So I just started doing that in my spare time whilst I was looking for jobs. It just became that I was kind of started managing it, which is really good. And it's a completely different lifestyle and it's wonderful. I really like it.
I just Googled it and researched for volunteers because I knew I couldn't cope financially and I needed help.
We only started having volunteers about a year ago, not even, and Mum and I were basically doing everything before then, and it was a lot of work.
And I had, for the first year, just 2 young girls from, I think they're Australian or American. They only stayed for a couple of weeks, but they helped me a lot. But their review was that it was quite lonely. So I realised the next year that I had to have a larger group. And it was wonderful.
Bum 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 bum.
So like, we've been pretty busy with the notes and whatnot, and you can see that we've been making notes pretty much on everybody, like questions that we want to ask tailored to the people. Hi guys. We'll get to your one, and yours is the most detailed of all of them so far. Okay, instead, repeat after me. What film is this from? You blabbed, Quaid! You blabbed about Mars! Excellent. Finish the sentence. My fish has a large... yeah, there you go. There's your notes.
Wang, oh crap.
There's a male model staying here on the campsite. Do you feel intimidated being around someone of such physical beauty? I think his name's Kevin.
Mate, come on. I'm Phil.
Why are you a volunteer?
I did some in Germany first, and that was purely just a cheap and interesting way to travel. It was just something I wanted to do.
Because before I was in Canada with a good job I like, and I came back to France. I looked for a job in my field, but I was bored with big cities for a moment, and I was bored with job with. I wanted something more relaxed.
I've always wanted to try helpexing. I've always been, and woofing, because I've always been interested in organic farming and sustainability.
I just signed up for Helpex. Jake got in touch with me and I thought it looked cool.
Well, so she approached you?
Yeah, it was the first. I got an email. I signed up with a pretty much desperate need to do something different with my existence.
I was vacationing. I worked seasonally, and so I had a few months off in between jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to tour the British Isles. And when I travel, it's like I like to see the sights, but I also like to see the culture. And honestly, the best way for me to do that would be to stay with people. And so I had some time. I figured volunteering would help.
This would be my first.
Your first one?
Yeah, through Helpex.
Right.
Helpexing is the voluntary organisation that you do a work exchange for the host, which is what we're doing here now. Each host has like a profile, almost like Facebook, and they say what they're doing, what kind of work they want done, what kind of people they want there, where are you living, etc. They explain the circumstances.
I see.
And then you tell them about yourself, and if you fit the bill, then you can go and stay with them, work with them, get your meals provided, and that's Helpex, and it's a work exchange.
I think meeting people is probably the biggest reason for people to volunteer. It's the social aspect of it. Oh god, no!
What made you choose Cerenety?
Well, the main thing is it's an eco campsite,
Okay.
which is actually something that I've always wanted to do.
What made you choose here? What made you choose Cerenety?
A lot of the reasons was that it was in Cornwall, close to the beach. Do a lot of surfing, so I like being near the coast. So that was one of the main reasons. I just had a lot of good reviews. Seemed like a nice little place that I could get used to.
I see. So why did you choose Cerenety?
I suppose, I don't know really. I like working with animals. There's plenty of animals here, and it had a lot of good reviews. And also, there's some building work and creative things that need doing. So that's something that I'm interested in. So it seemed like a good all-round place, really.
6 months.
That's a long time.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah, didn't realise. But
How have you found that time?
it's been good, really. It's been good for me. When I came, one of the main things I was looking for was to be living with lots of people.
Yeah.
Because when I was at home, I was spending quite a lot of time on my own.
Right.
And that's not good for me. So I wanted to live with lots of people. So that was one of the things that made me choose Cerenety, was the amount of people that volunteer.
What things have you been involved with in your 2 weeks here?
I sort of started with the animals, learning how to take care of horses and lambs.
Okay.
And then I did a couple of projects. Started repairing a fence, and then built a bike stand for bikers.
projects that we try and do. That's quite a recent thing, actually, the refurbishing of the cattle trailer and changing the caravan into the cafe. It's, yeah, small projects that I'm trying to increase to make the place more interesting and more exciting for people to visit.
Well, it's an old beat up cattle trailer that's falling apart, but you can turn them into accommodation.
And then the sides are going to have, is it pallet
wood, yeah.
pallet wood like along that to make it, well, just to make it neater and nicer. We're not sure about the inside of the roof yet because that's pretty messy.
You can imagine if there was the canvas here, it would look really nice. Accommodation or a usable space. I've seen it done before. I've seen people convert them into houses and accommodation for campers to stay in and other things. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to turn it into a usable space using a lot of recycled materials. I mean, the trailer itself is recycled. It was unwanted by another farmer and they were just going to give it to the scrap man, I think.
I proposed to Kelly to train people during summertime, and she liked this idea. And so after that, yeah, I thought about why I could make a very simple, not a gym. So gym is a big name. But the name could be outdoor rec area. So it would be like a structure, wood, with suspension training. Something very popular at the moment, but very good to train.
In February, March, there were a lot of wood, a lot of branches, and we took off everything. We moved over there and we burned all the wood. We tidy all the space.
It's good to encourage people as well to do what they're good at, and it's good for us. So for example, Alex, who has the illustration degree, it didn't occur to me for the first week to get her to illustrate the outside of the caravan, but when I thought of it, it's such a good thing. She loves it, and we're going to have an incredible picture on the outside of the caravan.
I've been told that you studied illustration at degree level. So during that degree, did you work on this kind of scale before, or is this something new to you?
No, still learning how to do this. I've only worked on a smaller scale.
Okay. How do you feel about that?
It's a bit intimidating, frustrating, but yeah, learning something new. So
How so? How has it been intimidating to you?
Because it's totally different, you know. It's trying to draw something in my style, but on this scale, it's hard. But
Have you learnt anything new from being here?
how to paint on a caravan. It's more challenging than you'd think.
Oh no, I think testament to your ability, it definitely looks like something that's a difficult undertaking. And especially it being your first project. Yeah, you can see that you're working to a high level. It's not just something that anyone could do.
I mean, I always said that about helpexing, is it's not a job, it's not, a lot of people don't understand that you don't get paid for it, but I say to them, it's not a job, it's an experience. And if you're happy, and you're enjoying yourself, and you're learning and growing, that's all that really matters.
I think that I wanted it to be very different from an employee-employer relationship, because that's not what HelpX is about. It's about exchanging skills. And so I wanted it to be somewhere where people could enjoy and they didn't feel like there was a big figure of authority. Plus I would be a terrible figure of authority, so... Cool, I've got Rafa on Vegetable Patch today.
Okay.
Thank you, Rafa. Alex, if you could mark out the ponies and the sheep and the goats, that would be brilliant. And then if Alice and Kev need any help on the caravan, that would be awesome too.
Yeah, we made paint today.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted it so that it was fun, people enjoyed themselves, people got really involved in the campsite, so they wanted to help and go that extra mile to help out if they, if they felt like it. But also really have a good time whilst they're here. Basically enjoy the surrounding areas. I can show them beaches that I know about that they might not know about. Just have it as like a small community, even if it's temporary, so that people feel like they've got friends here, and you know, people are travelling, so they might want to travel on with people. I've always been treated really well when I've been travelling, and people have helped me so much, and I think it's really nice to give that back to people when they come here.
It's like a small paradise.
It's just an enjoyable place to be and learn and grow socially and with skills as well.
The first time this happened in my life, working and volunteering, it's like I'm actually enthusiastic about what I'm doing, and it makes the day just go a lot faster.
Really nice people, a really nice vibe. Like being outside is something that I've always liked, being like with animals.
I want to do 2 more things. It's like I'm retired and it's payback time. I need to do good stuff. And I want to open a hostel where people who are out of work, because I think it's the same in Spain, isn't it? There's no work.
No work, yeah.
So they could stay here with a comfortable bed, and if they want to pay for the bed, that's fine, and go and find work in town, or they can have the bed for free and work. And they could find what they like to do.
Yeah.
And then even if it's dry stone walling, I want to train youngsters to do what they want to do, not go into a job that they hate because they need to earn money.
Yeah.
The animals, I like having animals, rescue animals, and I always will. But there's not really enough land here for that. And I do think that we've got to help the kids as well. The youngsters and the people are really suffering. The economy in the whole world is shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I think we've got to concentrate on that a bit more. We could get all these kids here, give them a free place, come and learn. Oh, it's that far from being successful. I just got to keep going.